Leo.
Hello Leo, this is your March forecast, and boy do we have a special month lighting up here all over your chart this month. First of all, it's two levels because we still have the stellium that was last month moving together, all those planets. They were in your 7th house coming out of this partnership area, which is now moved into your 8th house, which is a very special house in itself. Plus this month is also a touch and go month. The first week is going to be very busy, back to back, and then suddenly it's like this huge void where there's not much happening for 2.5 weeks. And that might feel a little strange. It's like the universe is put on halt a little bit. That's where the transits ongoing now. How they may affect you in your birth chart is different, but we're looking at your solar chart. And they're not going to be picking up speed, but then by the 26th and 27th, at the end of the month, you got what? 2, 4, 6, 9 aspects here just hitting back to back like this. So boy, it's going to end on a big note. But let's start top of your chart here. We have Jupiter moving forward again after it has been retrograde. So thank God, suddenly it's like feeling the doors are open again in your social house. This is the 11th house. It's been sleeping from October. Maybe you have just been busy looking at your partnership area where all these energies have been working. But now it's like, okay, back out into the friends and new friends, new associates and connections coming in. And interesting ones. Jupiter will always bring very interesting and open-minded people to the table. And also anything with foreign people in places, you might connect with them. Or you might also be wanting to travel to a faraway place and meet different cultures as far as the new networking that Jupiter is trying to give you. And then I'd like to talk about all these planets, the stellium in your 8th house. Now, the 8th house in itself is an occult house, in the sense that it's not just about the traditional saying it's other people's money, or it's banks, loans, commissions, royalties, and all those things. Yes, it is that. But on a deeper level, it's occult spiritually, and also sexually. This is a sexual house, so to speak, and it is ruled by Scorpio, and having Sun, Mercury, Moon, Venus, Mars, and Neptune all there, it's really wanting you to focus on your sexuality this month and how that can renew itself, or how it can grow into something different perhaps. It's in the sign of Pisces, in the house of Scorpio, so it's going to be a very watery, very emotional, very romantic also type of month. Some of you might be exploring new ways to express this. Some of you might certainly start studying Kama Sutra and implementing that into your love life. But whatever the deal is, I see there's a lot of communication between you and your partner on these issues, and there may also be issues of the past coming up in regards to this. And healing too. Both Pisces and Scorpio have very healing qualities to their nature. So when Venus is there, it's the healing of the heart chakra, it's healing of childhood wounds, for example. It could be past relationships that might have been very difficult for you. Suddenly now it's being transformed. Scorpio transformed. Remember, Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio. And that makes everything new after you've shed all these layers of the past. So Venus is in a very good place there. Mars is in a good place there too, because Mars is also our drive, and now it is in Scorpio, and it's blended with Pisces. Doesn't get better than that, at least when it comes to love and romance. Now, if we're looking at the traditional, more so, should I say, financial avenues, I would say it's a great month this month to go out there, seek loans, seek fundings, find your grants, do the talks, have the discussions, because you can cash in on it this month, Leos. Okay, whatever you do in that first week, and we'll get back to those dates, but it's the first week of March you really want to target, and then see the outcome of it later on in the month. But we also have Uranus in the 9th house, so somehow, and it's going to be there for a while, so it's not just this month, but somehow I want you to focus on what foreign cultures, foreign people, networks, or businesses, it could be as well, or studying, anything connected to this. Somehow it's going to be very important to you in the long run, so you might start opening up for that. Uranus is also all the alternative, untraditional ways, and you might see how some of you might want to start studying higher education. The 9th house is all about colleges and deepening and heightening your insights. And some of you might just want to break free altogether out of that day-to-day treadmill of working just all these worldly, should I say, things, and wanting to kind of reach out and teach more of the untraditional teachings that you have already on the inside collected throughout time. So it will be interesting to see what you're going to do with it. Some of you may be wanting to publish or bring out in other ways, maybe through the media. Uranus is always, the internet as well. So that could be true for a few of you. And then we have Pluto in the 6th house, which is going to be there for a very long transit. So I see how that has, over time now, recently, started to put together a different beat, daily beat, a different routine. Some of you are still going to be shedding and creating that routine as we move along throughout the next couple of years. So this is like for you on the first third of being Leo. This is for. And then we have Saturn in the 4th house, securing your home, securing your past roots, where you belong, where you want to belong, where you don't want to belong anymore. Some of you have seen how you've shut the doors to the past there and saying, this is where I want to be. This is where I want to plant roots. This is where I belong. And it's also taking some of your power back, especially for you older Leos, taking your power back to who you are today. Not who you became from parents or from teachers, but who you are today, and coming across with more authority, more sense of self, more sense of security, and knowing and trusting your own foundation. And I think for many of you that can be quite a blessing, quite a feeling of liberation. And between that Saturn there in the 4th house and that feeling, and connect that with Uranus up in the 9th house, I mean, you are shedding like a snake. You're shedding your skin here and allowing yourself, daring to show new colors to the world, which you might have been wanting to do for a long time, the last 14 years, but couldn't due to old programming. But once that old programming is gone and in comes this new, oh my goodness, your lights are going to be brilliant. I can see how your aura is flashing with a lot of beautiful lights there. So let's look at a few dates. We have the Sun and Pluto here on the 1st in good talks. So if you're going to talk to anybody influential and important, and this is about your 8th house, so yes, now we're talking about loans and grants and those things. A great time to do that. You're coming across very confident with your Sun also trining Saturn, which is in your 4th house. So your base is secure now, and you might have worked on this for the last 7 years actually to get to this point. But your base is very sound, and they will see that you have worked and put together step by step what you're talking about. So today you can pass this across, and communication is conjunct the Sun on this day, so you can speak very clearly and with no clutter. And Venus is there to support you on the 6th with Pluto. So if you're asking for money, asking for a loan, this is the time to do it because that Venus is both sextile Pluto and it is trine Saturn. Doesn't get better for that. It's Saturn from the 4th to the 8th, and then we have your Pluto in the 6th. So that could be seeking funds for some kind of collaborate, can't say necessarily a career, but a collaborate working with groups of people. And then we have Mercury also conjunct Venus, which is once again you finding the right words at the right time on this day of the 6th. And Mercury is also trine Saturn, so you once again you're drawing the picture, putting it out there to whoever is the superiors that you need to speak with. And then you have Mercury sextile Pluto, and you have Saturn sextile Pluto. So any banker or investors, angel investors, they are all open ears and listening to how you're putting together this proposal. And then it's going to be quiet, so you want it done all by the 7th. And you may not want to try to sign any contracts if you can avoid it till after the 17th, because Mercury is retrograde, but you can use Mercury to negotiate and speak about things, but hold off on the signing. Then we have the new moon on the 11th. That is to plant new intentions. It's in the very same house, the 8th house. So your intentions should all be about how you can grow your finances and find funding, and also what we talked about within sexuality and the past, clearing out that kind of karma and opening up for new. And then we will have Mars moving into Aries, your 9th house, on the 11th, and Venus will follow into Aries on the 21st. But in that time, from the 7th to the 26th, it's more like time off. You can do whatever you want to do. Not too much being pushed or asked or expected from you before the 26th. So whatever talks you had there in that first week may come back to you. Mars is going to present you with a beautiful sextile Jupiter, and Jupiter is all about abundance. You might get the green light on something where it will allow you to now start putting energy behind your goals, your aims, which Mars is all about. We have the challenge of, oh my God, now what? Because Mars is square Pluto. So once you have that green light and you're ready to go, it's like, my goodness, where do I start? This energy is just like explosive, but in a good way. The only thing I'll say about that Mars square Pluto is try to lay low if anybody's a little combative that day, because your own energies might be a little frazzled and trying to focus in one direction, and then there's tons of people might wanting to yank you in their direction on that day. So Mars can be a little touchy that day, but just lay low. It's going to pass pretty quick. And then we have on the 27th, full moon. It's a harvest moon, and for you, it will be in the third house for news, communication, short distance travel. It might be news from your siblings or neighbors or in your tight community. It's also harvesting whatever information and news of what you really started planting there last month, and also what you did there on the 11th of this month. So Venus is going to be conjunct Sun, and Venus is going to be conjunct Uranus, and the Sun will be conjunct Uranus. So talk about a huge news flash on the 27th. This is what you've been waiting for, Leo. So I'll be so excited for you, and I really hope that you can comment down below so your fellow Leos can see how this is panning out for you, and that they do the same for you as well. So you can see how these planets really align on these mentioned times, this touch and go month. First week, last week, and then the silent second week. So that's what we have for now. Of course, there's always so much more that I would like to share with you. I'm always left with so much more I could have said, should have said, but the time here on the tube is limited. But I am putting up a link for the classes we're doing in March, and I want to invite you to come in, and it will allow you also to ask questions that are pertaining to your solar chart of the month, and give us more time here on a one-on-one instead of just on the tube. So be sure to check that out, and also listen to your moon sign and rising sign. and I'll see you soon. Bye now.